Alright, so this is going to be the first video in a new series that I'm doing called ThinkorSwim Tips and Tricks. And I've been using ThinkorSwim now for, man, it must be about 20 years now. And it's my main platform still. I think it's the best. It's that the risk graph function is just so great on it. I haven't found any other broker out there that can offer like the risk graphs on the same level as ThinkorSwim. And I'm just so used to it now. And there's a bunch of cool things I've learned over the years you can do with ThinkorSwim. And I'm going to go through them all in this series. But in today's video, the first video in the series, I'm going to show you what I call my $1 million ThinkorSwim trick. And I'm calling it that because it's a trick or a tip, tool. It's a way to use ThinkorSwim that I've never seen anyone else talk about, although I'm sure there must be other people using it because it solves a problem that option traders like myself who make adjustment to positions have with ThinkorSwim. And basically it solves the problem of how to correctly track and keep track of all the adjustments you make in your position so you can see what your real P&L is throughout the duration of a trade. And again, the way that I trade options, I would say probably about 70 to 80% of them, there is some sort of an adjustment or a tweak made to the position during the life of the trade. And so without this ability, this trick that I'm going to show you today, I don't know how I would have even, I don't know how I would have managed all my positions. I can't think of any other way that I would be able to correctly track my trading positions as I adjust them. So in my opinion, this is the most valuable ThinkorSwim trick. Without it, it would make life much, much harder. And it's something that I use on a daily basis every single day. It's a 100% necessity for the way that I trade. And I use it every day, and without it, I would be looking for the closest bridge. No, that's awful. Without it, I don't know how I would be able to trade the way I trade. So let's get into it. All right, so this is going to be a live trade I'm going to put on just so I can explain how this adjustment tracking thing works. So I'm just going to put on like a quick SPY butterfly or something and adjust it and then take it off. I'm expecting this trade to not make money because I'm just using this as an example, but I'm going to use real money so you can see how I'm tracking it, how I'm saving it, exporting it, all that stuff. But hey, maybe I'll get lucky and maybe it'll be a winner, but don't count on it. Okay, so here we are. We're SPY. So let's just create like an at the money butterfly real quick. So let's go over to add simulated trade. Let's say the options that expire tomorrow. I'm just going to put on a quick like an at the money butterfly. So it's trading at SPY's trading at 449. So I'll say analyze by trade butterfly. Okay, so let's look at that risk profile for that. Zoom in here on this thing. Let's make it a little bit bigger than this. Let's make it like a let's see, maybe a 5 point. So 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. And then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay. Oh, that's a little, I went too far on the puts. Okay, so there's an equal distant butterfly on each side. And this is like a one-day option. And again, I'm not trying to make money with this. This isn't an example of how to make money. This is probably going to turn out to be an example of how to lose money. What this example is really about is how I'm tracking these things, these trades in ThinkorSwim, because ThinkorSwim doesn't keep track of the adjustments. So as soon as you make your first adjustment, it gets all wacky, and you can't really tell what's going on, how much you've made and lost in the position overall. So I'm going to just go ahead real quick, and I'm going to place this trade. So we'll say create duplicate order and confirm and send. Okay, there we go. We got filled there. All right, so this position is live at 259. Okay, so I'm just going to let this sit here for just a second and see if we can get some sort of movement. So this trade expires tomorrow. Now let's think, so what kind of adjustment do we want to use as an example? Let's just say that the spider's going to run up and we start to head down this slope here. So we want to adjust the trade so that we're not losing money as fast. Basically, we want to just balance out the deltas. Let's just imagine that we're pretty sure it's going to move up, or let's say that it has moved up. So what we want to do is we want to raise this leg up, like maybe by a strike, so we can, balance out the deltas here and get back to delta neutral for an up move. So what I'm going to do is, so down here you can see everything in black. Those are the real live positions in ThinkorSwim. I'm just going to uncheck those. This green one is that's the order I placed to create this position, and it's locked in. You always need to make sure that it's locked in at the price that you got filled at. Otherwise, it's just going to be bouncing around and you won't remember. So it's super important to remember to lock this price at the price you got filled at, which is $2.59. So leave that locked in. And then, so let's take a look at what will our adjustment be. So again, we want to raise this upper leg up. We want to bring that in a strike to kind of raise this side of the butterfly. So let's just say we come down here, we'll look at the real position. That's the 454 strike. So I'll just right click there and I'll say analyze rolling trade. We're going to roll it. We're going to roll it from the 454 strike up to like the 453 or the 452. So we say analyze rolling trade, and then we just enter that so we can load this, and then we can like tweak it and tune it into what we want. So we want to keep the same expiration day on this 17th. So we make sure that the expiration day is the same if we're doing this particular adjustment. You know, whatever adjustment you do, you just want to make sure that that's what you are getting here with the expiration dates. And this is correct because we want to move the same option expiration date. Just we want to move it up a couple strikes. So we're going to be selling, because we have this purchase right now, the 454. So we're going to sell the 454, and we're going to buy. Let's say we're going to buy the 452. See how we did that? So we raised that leg up. That's too much. Let's go back by one. Just give it a little adjustment like that. So again, what we're doing is we're taking the 454 strike, and we uncheck it. We can see what the position is right now. So the 454 is right there. We already own that. What we want to do is we're going to roll it up by one strike to adjust the position. So here we're selling the 454 that we already own, and we're buying the 453 to make the adjustment. Make sure that the expirations are the same, or whatever adjustment you're doing. Just make sure that those are the correct dates that you are wanting. So let's look. We'll go ahead and we'll check this on so we can see the adjustment. So there it is. You can just check and uncheck these boxes here. So that's with the adjustment. That's without the adjustment. With the adjustment, without the adjustment. And just real quick, remember that in this black area here, these are the real live positions that you actually have on in ThinkorSwim. So if we turn just those on, you can see that this is the position that we have on, like real money. This is the real position we have on. But in order to make our tweaks and to monitor it after we make our first adjustment, this is going to get all wacky, because when we make this roll, when we buy this 54 and roll it up, in here it's just going to remove the 54 and it's going to forget about it. It's not going to remember that we bought it previously at a certain price. It's just going to show the new trade. So you'll see it in a second. There'll just be 3 in there. So it doesn't keep track of the adjustments or all the previous trades that were part of that trade, which sucks. And so that's why we need to track it in this way that I'm showing you. So again, so that's the real position right there. Let's just uncheck these. So we'll go to our simulated trades. That's the trade we put on. And this is the adjustment we're going to make. We're going to raise that leg up. So let's just go ahead and do that now. So we'll right click and then say create duplicate order. I'm going to uncheck that just to get the best with the current price. Confirm and send. So we just got filled on that at 90. So you can see that there's some things going on in here now. So that 454 is no longer there. See, it's 0 now, but it's not remembering the price that we actually paid and that we sold it for. It just kind of forgot about it. It shows it, but it's not remembering it, or it's not calculating it into this position, which is why we can't correctly track and monitor the position after we start doing adjustments. So, and that one's checked on. That's the one we rolled to. That's the one we bought. So we sold that, and we bought this one, and that's checked on. So let's uncheck this. Take everything in the black off. No check marks on those. We'll come down here. So we got filled on this at 90. 90. So there is, so this is kind of like a running tally. And as you continue to make adjustments, you just continue to add to this list. So if we uncheck this, this was the first trade we put on at the same price. And if you monitor it with these simulated trades all stacked on top of each other, it will remember all of these correct pricing and everything. So you'll get a realistic view of what the position is at throughout all of your adjustments. So there's the original position we put on, and then we made this adjustment. We rolled that. So that's our real live current position. So now here, just to show you why we need to do this, let's just uncheck these simulated trades, and let's just check on these guys. So even though it shows you the basic diagram and the correct structure that it looks, the more adjustments you'll do, this will start to get really off, because these numbers aren't calculated in. The original purchase that you made of this 454, it's not remembering that. So let's see if we can even see. So this is saying we're up like $1.76 with the real position, and with the adjusted position we're down $2.40. And so just because I made this adjustment so quickly, that's off a little bit. But the problem really comes in big time is when, like, you put this trade on for a day and then you adjust tomorrow, that pricing difference will get wider and wider. And pretty soon, like what you're looking at with the real live positions in your ThinkorSwim account, you know, in the black area, will be way off. And not even accurate to what your position really is. Again, because it's not remembering those trades as you take them off and move them around. It's not remembering and calculating all that. Where if you use this method, where you just start to stack these and save these, so every time you look at it, you can see the exact order of what happened in the trade. You can see that this trade was put on first, then that adjustment was made, and then we can add another one. Let's just go ahead and do another one. Let's say we want to get, let's say we want to bring this leg up more. So we'll make another adjustment, and we'll say the 453. We'll say analyze rolling trade. You can see it adds it down here. So this time we're going to buy. Oh, so here let's make sure that our dates are the same. So we want to change this to the 17th. And then this time we want to buy the 453. That's the one we adjusted a minute ago. And we want to roll it up again. So we'll sell the 453 that we currently own, and we'll roll it up to the 452. So that's the new adjustment. So let's go ahead and do that. I uncheck that lockbox just to make sure I get the current price. Okay, so we got filled on that one at 84. So let's come back down here and lock this in at 84. So there's the two adjustments that we made. And again, you can see in here, it shows those, but like tomorrow, if we did this adjustment tomorrow, it wouldn't even show them. It would just be, they just wouldn't exist in there. It shows 0 now, but it's not remembering what we bought and sold those for. So let's compare the two. So here is the correct current adjusted position, and it's showing a loss of 55 cents. Now let's look at what the real position is showing us. You can see it's showing a profit of $16.96. So this is not correct. This is incorrect, and this could be like that could be not good if you're like relying on those numbers. You know, I would think I was in a profit now. Well, yeah, this is great. I made 15 bucks. But in reality, because it's not remembering the buy and sell values of these first two ones that you did, it's just calculating only these three now. That's way off, you know. So that's showing a profit of 18 bucks, but in reality, we can just load these in the order we put them on. In reality, we're down like 99 cents. So, you know, the bigger positions and the further you get into a trade, that difference gets bigger and bigger. And there's no way that you can, if you're doing adjustments to a trade, there's no way you can really correctly calculate and monitor using what's showing in the ThinkorSwim account, because it's not remembering those. So that's why we need to build out these stacks. I call them stacks, simulator stacks. It's just how I keep track of all my positions. So at the end of every day, if an adjustment was made, I would just come in here. And remember to always lock these locks in at the price that you got filled for each one. So I'll just lock these in. You can see like how the trade progressed, how it was built. The next one, we rolled that leg up. The next one. So that's the current real position right now. That's the real value. We're down $3. And so at the end of every day, I just save this as a separate text file to my computer. And to do that, you just come over here on this little hamburger or whatever that is. Click on that. And then I say export current trades. And I can just choose wherever I want to sell this to. I just have a folder on my desktop that says trading. That's where I save all mine to. So then I just name it. Typically what I'll name it, I'll just say like SPY, butterfly, and then the day's date. So at the end of every day, I go through these with the positions that I've adjusted. So today is 11/16/23. And then I'll just save it to my folder. I'll say save. So now that's saved. And so like if you log in tomorrow, so let's say your computer crashed or you turned it off, and the next time you logged in tomorrow, let's say that these weren't in there. They were like deleted, or you just come with a fresh start into the platform here. And again, if you look at this, that shows the right position structure maybe, but the pricing's way off. There's no way I'm up $17. That's not right. So I need to see what the real structure, profit and loss is, including the adjustments that I made. So just to import that back in, I'd come over here to the same hamburger menu, come down here to where it says import trades. I go find it in my folder that I saved it to. And I just look for that file name, which we named it there. And just say open. And then it loads it right back in. So you can see this is the file that we saved. It kept everything in order. It kept all those prices correct as they were actually bought and sold for. As long as you keep these locks on, always make sure to keep these locks on after you make a trade and then save it. So you can see that our real profit and loss on the position is that we're down $4. So it's really different from what ThinkorSwim is saying, which is saying we're at a profit of $14 or $16. And that's just because, again, it's just calculating the current positions. It's forgotten all about these first two that were in the position. So that's how I track and monitor these. And so the last thing is, with a position that has a lot of adjustments, like I've had stacks like this in the up to like 20 or more, 20 different positions of big positions that I'm like I say a month-long position that I'm adjusting throughout the month. This could have a big stack that you're saving up every day. At the end of every day, you just export out everything locked in so you know exactly where you are. But let's say that like halfway through the month, let's say we have a stack of like 15, and we just want to quickly make sure that our real position, that they're in sync. The pricing won't be in sync, but you want to make sure that you haven't forgotten any trades in this stack, or that you've added too many. And so a super quick way just to kind of confirm that this trade is this trade, just with the adjustments made, is you just look at the position structure will look identical. It may be up or down, but like the tent there will look exactly the same. And the delta and the gamma and the theta and the vega should all be identical. So even though we've made adjustments, and this isn't showing all the adjustments, the current position we have on, each of these numbers here, the delta, gamma, theta, and vega, should be identical to what your stack of adjusted trades show. So a quick way, I just make sure, like, again, if I'm sort of like unsure if this is really the real position I have on with all the adjustments, I just come in here, I click everything on. So all the boxes are checked now. Then I come up here where it says show all, and I'll say hide positions. So that it'll only show me right now, it's only showing me the simulated trades. And I just look at the delta, so 433, the gamma, the theta, and the vega. And then I'm going to toggle back and forth between the simulated positions, where it says hide positions, or hide simulations. See, I'm just toggling back and forth between all the adjusted positions stacked up and what positions are currently in the count. And if you look at the delta, gamma, and theta, and vega, they should be exactly the same. Maybe a tiny bit different if it's moving around. So if we look at, say, for example, let's just look at the theta. I'll just toggle back and forth, and we'll just watch the theta. So this is the simulated position. The theta is showing 109.77. Let's toggle to the real positions. So watch this column here, 108.70. See, it just very slightly changes. Let's look at the vega column now. So minus 8.10, and I'll toggle back. You see it just very slightly changes. Gamma 956, pretty much the same. And there's always it's possible there could be like a very tiny difference like we're seeing now. But if there's a big difference, like let's say this is like 950 there, and then if we go here, it's like say 27 or something, or like the theta is way off. If these numbers are off, then you know they're probably not correct, and you need to, at that point, go back and just kind of look at all your history. You can go back and see all your history of your trades by going to the Monitor tab, Account Statement, and Trade History. And then you can just kind of go back through, like you can go months and months back and just find those trades and rebuild this stack. And then, so the last thing I want to show you is just if I do see a discrepancy there, and and it looks like I've missed something or I made a mistake somewhere, I've included a trade or I've like left a trade out, I don't have the real position. What you can do is just you can just totally delete all these. Just hit the delete, and then you can go back and just rebuild it. Like, so let's say we know what positions they were. We can go back to the monitor tab, go to the account statement, click on trade history, and then you can just scroll back through time and find the trades that you made. So like, for example, here's the trades we made right here. So to rebuild it, I would just come to, I would do it in order. So we would say right click and then say analyze trade. You can see it pops it in there. And we'll go back to the monitor tab. We'll do the next one, right click, analyze trade. See how it stacks it now? It's underneath. So it's just kind of, it's just rebuilding the adjusted trade, doing it this way. So then the last one, we just right click, analyze trade. So now it's built all that out. So you can just go back and rebuild it from scratch if you need to, or if you're unsure, or if the numbers aren't matching up. So that's it. And this is like probably the most useful tool or idea or whatever you want to call it, concept. This is like the most useful thing for years and years is knowing how to rebuild these and tracking it through these exported files, these stacks, because there would be no, I mean, it would be a nightmare to, it would be impossible basically. If you were doing adjustments to a trade and you weren't doing it this way, I don't know how you would keep track of all your adjustments and the totals and the P&L and know where you're really at in a position unless you have this kind of a stack going for each position that you save out every day to an external file. That's like a backup.
2 hours later.
All right, so here it is a couple hours later, and I just kept this position on to see if I could get into profit. And look at this, we're making a little bit of money here. So again, this is looking at it with the adjusted version, the stacks, the simulation stacks. And you can see that right now we're up about $10. Total risk on this right now is $285. So that's just under, I think it's like 2.5 to 5%, somewhere in there. In a couple hours. Hey, not too shabby. As my good old Uncle Ed used to say, hey, that's nothing to sneeze at. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this position off. But let's just look at it one more time. Let's compare this to the actual, like what TOS says. So this is what TOS says the position is. And remember, this again is just the current options, just the current strikes. It's forgot all about those previous ones, so it's not calculated in. So if we were to just rely on TOS here, without that adjustment stack there, this is saying that we're up $30, which would be great, but it's not true. It's a big fat lie. The truth is that we need to look at this stack of previous trades that are all locked in to get our real P&L, which is right around $10. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. And so the way I would take this off now is I would just come up here to the real position in TOS and I would highlight all three. I just click my mouse, hold down shift, and it'll select all of them. Then I'll right click my mouse and I'll say analyze closing trade. They'll give me a bunch of different, whatever all the variations are of those three options there. The one I want is the butterfly. I'm just going to close out the entire butterfly. So I'll select that and it'll add it to the stack at the bottom. Now we need to make sure this is unchecked so we get the current live price. And we'll uncheck that so we can see it one more time. So it looks like we're going to get a profit around $9 or so on this. This is just an example trade for this adjustment technique to use in ThinkorSwim. But hey, $8 will still buy a couple bean burritos. How many? Probably 5 or 6. All right, so let's just close this out now. And you can see if you just turn this on here, if we close that at 94 cents, it just gives us our P&L flat line. We made $10. So let's see if we can get filled at 95. Create duplicate order. Oh, it went down a penny. Let's try to, maybe get 96. That'd be better. Let's see. We're waiting. Come on, market makers. Come on, bean burrito. I think bean burritos are like at Taco Bell. I think bean burritos are 99 cents. But then you got to I think there's tax in there. And then they always ask you if you want to give your extra change for so whatever. I'm always thinking, no, man, but I don't want to say no because they might spit in my food. They'll think I'm some greedy bastard. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, well, when are they going to ask me if I just want the extra change? That's what I feel like saying. I feel like saying, no, but if you want to give me the extra change, I'll take it. But then they would really spit in my food, and that would ruin my day. So let's go to 95. So we're asking 96 here. Let's go. Oh, maybe it'll go up. Let's see. Let's just go to 95. Let's cave into the market makers there. Those jerks. So we'll say 95. And so we got filled at 95. So then, like, to get our final P&L now, if we come back over here, you can see all the positions are gone from TOS, showing no positions. But we can still, since we have this simulation stack, this adjustment tracking in place, we can like see every stage of the trade. So first, let's lock this in at what we got filled at, 95 right there. So all these are checked on, so we can see our P&L flat line is $10. We made $10. And then if we want, we can just kind of go back and we can see the trade in all its various stages. So it started off like that. Now, had we done none adjustments on this, just put it on and had not adjusted at all for the examples, we would be up $17. It's more bean burritos. So there's our first adjustment. We lifted this leg up. It's still $15. And we lifted, we did another adjustment as an example, just to show how this all works. And so up here, there's that last adjustment. We moved that leg up, and then we closed it out for a final profit of $10. All right, so that's it for this video. This is like the most useful trick, if you want to call it that, in TOS. I've been using this for years, and I don't know where I would be without this. I mean, because I'm always adjusting and tweaking my trades, and this is without knowing where I'm really at by using this technique, it would be a nightmare. I mean, I don't even know how I would do it. So check that out. It's a great way to track your trades, and as you save each file at the end of every day, you can have like a running track record, of the trade, all the like the stages of it. And you can even go back like a month ago and see, well, yeah, remember that trade that I did that adjustment on? What was that adjustment? You could actually go back and just pull that file up, look at it, and, you know, reference it, see exactly what you did, and kind of like just, you know, reproduce it in the current trade. So there's a lot of uses for this, and it's worth its weight in gold, which I'm not sure how much it weighs, but it's worth a lot. All right, so that's it for today. If you'd like to follow along with me on my trades, just make sure that you hit that subscribe button below. Click subscribe, and also join me on my website. I'll leave a link to my website in the description below, so you can head on over to my website and join me there. All right, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.